Hello guys, I'm here for another Cook With Me video, as is Marley. See here? Tonight I'm going to be making spinach lasagna roll-ups. I am going to include ground beef in my recipe. Of course, as always, I will include the original recipe down below in the description box, as well as a list of the ingredients I used for my recipe. This is going to be entirely simply filling or no count, and I will also include the smart points for you. So let's get started. Okay, so here are a few ingredients that you will need for this recipe. You need 10 ounces of frozen chopped spinach, thawed and completely drained. You need 9 whole lasagna noodles. I'm using whole grain because I'm doing simply filling. Again, in my recipe, I'm going to put some ground beef in it. So I have 93% lean ground beef. That will be simply filling. 1 egg, which is simply filling. You need fat-free ricotta, which I cannot find anywhere. I have heard that Trader Joe's sells it, but Trader Joe's is a little too far away for me to go just for one ingredient. So Jess from Weight Watchers Journey to Healthy has made this recipe before, and she used fat-free cottage cheese, so that's what I'm going to use. That is simply filling, or it's 2 smart points for half a cup. I've never actually tried cottage cheese, so I'm interested to see how that goes. You will also need some fat-free mozzarella and some shredded Parmesan cheese. I believe fat-free cheese is simply filling, and then you need half a cup, I think, of shredded Parmesan, but I believe split up over the servings, it will become 0, I think. We'll see though. You will also need the recipe calls for Pomodoro sauce. I am making my own sauce over here. It is, again, Jess from Weight Watchers Journey to Healthy, her recipe that she shared with me. She uses, and what I've used here is a large can of crushed tomatoes, a regular can of petite diced tomatoes. I used a whole sweet onion, as well as a lot of garlic and some red pepper flakes and some Italian seasoning. So what I did, and a little bit of water. So what I did was, and what she told me to do, was saute the garlic and the onions together and then add it to the tomato mixture, which is what I did. Then I just poured in some Italian seasoning and poured in some red pepper flakes. It is just to taste, so whatever you'd like. And then I also probably used a 1/4 cup to a half a cup of water in there as well. So that's just simmering, and the longer it simmers, the better it tastes. So I just have that going. So what I'm going to start now is, that's what I had sauteed the onions in that pan. So I'm just going to cook up my hamburger meat, and then also, or my lean meat, I don't know why I said that. And I'm also going to start boiling the lasagna noodles. Okay, just a little update. I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I heated up and cooked my ground beef. Again, this is an extra step. This is not part of the original recipe, but I want to add ground beef to my lasagna roll-up, so that's why I'm doing that. My lasagna should be done, yeah, pretty much done boiling. The sauce has just been simmering the back on super low for this whole time. I'm currently, I'm trying to defrost my spinach in the microwave because, of course, I forgot to do it ahead of time. And I've also measured out some of my other ingredients. I have the 1 egg, then this is half a cup of grated Parmesan. I looked it up in the tracker. Half a cup would be 7 smart points, so if you divide that by 9, it's less than a smart point per roll. So, and a serving size is 1 roll. So that won't add any points as far as simply filling is concerned. Of course, it will contribute to the smart points per roll if you're doing smart points. Then I have half a cup of shredded mozzarella here and 15 ounces of that fat-free cottage cheese. Again, the recipe calls for fat-free ricotta, but I could not find it, so that's what I'm using there. The recipe also says to lay out a piece of wax paper on a countertop so that you can put your dry lasagna noodles cooked dry lasagna noodles here and then add the mixture and roll it up. The recipe also says in a medium bowl, combine your ricotta or cottage cheese, your Parmesan, your egg, and your spinach together to create the mixture to go on the lasagna. So I am going to combine all of that once spinach is done defrosting. And she's here as always. You're such a good little girl. Just to show you guys, to get the water out of my spinach, I just wrung it out in a paper towel, so it is pretty, I mean, it's still got a little bit of moisture, but I think it'll work. Okay, directions say to ladle about a cup of the sauce into the bottom of the baking dish. So I'm just gonna take this ladle, this smells so good, and put it in the bottom of my baking dish. I have mixed up my ground beef, spinach, ricotta or cottage cheese, and an egg, as well as the Parmesan cheese. Made this mixture, it smells really good. And I have some of my noodles here. I destroyed some of my lasagna noodles, but that's okay. The directions say to lay them out on a piece of wax paper just so they don't stick to the surface that you're working on, and take 1/3 cup of the mixture and add it to the lasagna noodle and then roll it up and place it seam side down in your baking dish. Okay, just to show you, I take 1 lasagna noodle. I also take sort of a heaping 1/3 cup of that mixture, plop it down there and spread it out with a spoon, and then I'm going to roll it up. This is how many, this is how many I have so far. So 6 here, there's 7 on the thing. I have 1 more noodle that's full, which is 8, and then I have this, which is a noodle. So I'm gonna have to just do mini roll-ups with that, I guess. But I think I have just enough to do that, to do 1 more and then those mini ones. So technically 2 more things. So I'm just gonna roll them up, place them seam side down into your baking dish, and after that we will cover it with some more sauce. Okay, so after you ladle or top the roll-ups with the other cup of sauce, you are supposed to take a tablespoon of mozzarella and put it on each one. The recipe calls for 9 tablespoons. I just said I'm just going to use half a cup. It's fat-free cheese. It's not going to matter really, especially with Simply Filling, it doesn't matter. So again, I'm going to put the exact ingredients and how much I used down below and what those ingredients come out to in points per roll. So I'm just going to take this half cup of mozzarella cheese and sprinkle it sort of evenly across all of it, and then we will pop it in the oven. Okay, after you have sprinkled the cheese on your roll-ups, you cover it in foil and then bake it at 350 degrees for 40 minutes or until the cheese melts, and can't wait to see what comes out. All right guys, they are all done. I cooked them for 40 minutes and I did put the information into the tracker with what I used ingredients wise. They are still 6 smart points a roll. If you do 2, it does go to 12. I know the recipe, again, that I will link below, she uses fat-free ricotta and no beef, and hers are 6 smart points. So I wonder if fat-free cottage cheese is just less points compared to ricotta. I have never tried cottage cheese, so we'll see how they taste, but they smell delicious, so I am really excited. To finish it off, I just added a little bit more sauce. I have a lot left over from what I made, so it looks perfect. I can't wait to dig in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you next time for my next Cook With Me. Bye!